Yay.
Hello, everybody. I'm Stacey. I started with in the model train business in 2002. I just had my son and I was a single mom, and I needed a job. And in the paper near my house was painting model trains. So in my head, I thought, painting model trains, I'm going to sit there with a paintbrush? No, wasn't the case. So I went and they interviewed me at Red Caboose. I'm sure most of you guys know what Red Caboose is. And I got the job out of 50 men.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was me. I was the painter. So I started there, and quickly after I started there, they started all their manufacturing in China. So they let me go. But they found me a job at Intermountain Railway Company, and I moved over there and I started being a painter over there. I painted for about a year.
Right around a year, yeah.
Jeremy was my boss at the time, and he was in the print room and I was in the paint room. They moved me out of the paint room into the print room, and then I started managing the print room and got pregnant, so I could no longer do that job. You can't work with chemicals anymore. So I went over to inspect, and I did that for many years. I inspected and pulled orders. And then I moved into sales. And I've been doing sales since 2011 for Intermountain. I am currently the only sales rep at Intermountain Railway Company. Yeah. We have another guy who does individual sales for the people who cannot find a dealer. We encourage them to go to dealers because you guys get much better deals through your dealers than you would us. But some people just don't have a dealer to go to. So they do that, and I do dealer sales. So that's about it. This is Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy Dolliff. My father, Leo Dolliff, was one of the original 5 employees for Intermountain way back in 1988, I believe.
Yep.
As a young man, I can remember coming to the shop with my dad a lot. He was a tool maker there, which is what I do now. I manage the machining and molding parts of Intermountain. We still actually mold train parts in Longmont, Colorado, which people find shocking, but we do some domestic stuff here. I've been working with the company since 1997. I've left a few times and come back, but I've been there for a long time. I've seen all aspects of it. I've ran painting, I've ran the printing process for a while. We used to print a lot of cars. I don't know if you guys remember, we did kits, so it's painted and printed kits was where we originally started painting and printing here in Longmont. And then after that, we started shipping them to China for assembly. Now we don't do any painting and printing in Colorado. We just send plastic parts over, and then they get assembled and painted and sent back to us. But we still actually produce stuff in the America.
So what that boils down to is if we needed to produce everything in America again, Jeremy and I could step in and do most of that.
We actually could. So there's a lot of people that used to work for Intermountain back when we painted and printed that still work there. If you gave me a print machine and a paint booth, I could make you a car tomorrow. It's kind of crazy to think about. But that's my story. I've been there for a long time, since 97. Yeah. As wild as that sounds. So.
Yeah. Intermountain started in the O-scale business in May 20th of 1988. We've now sold all of our O-scale. It took us years and years to get rid of everything in the building. But we currently have no O-scale left in the building except for our brass metal wheels that we do.
That's it, yeah.
Other than that, all the O-scale is now gone. Atlas purchased it, and Atlas now sells O-scale however they do it. I don't really know. I hear that they only do like one run or something like that. But we are HO and N scale. We tried to do Z scale. It didn't work out well for us. We didn't do any locomotives. We just did cars. So Z scale, we've kind of gotten out of that business, and we just do a HO and N scale now. So, any questions?
That's the basic breakdown.
What you currently working on?
Well, I think what the most unique car that they're working on right now is a well car that was done for the breast cancer awareness. So it has a bunch of little hands on it, and each hand is uniquely put on there. So it's my imagination that this car on the real rails, people would pay to get their handprint put on there because every handprint is different. So our artist right now is going crazy trying to get all those different handprints on that car. But I believe it was Atlas, maybe. There is a box car out that would match this breast cancer awareness rail car. So if it's something that you're interested in, definitely. It's pretty cool. It's pink. That's one of the things that they're working on now. We did announce 4785s. A little bit different this time. I don't know if you guys get the announcements, but they did a car that had, it was like Conrail and Penn Central. So it has a bunch of different colors on the car because it faded out. Super cool car to look at. I'm really interested in seeing how it comes out of the factories, just because there's so much difference in the paint. So. They have not been released right now. We're taking reservations for those. You can see them on our website, but we are taking reservations. We're hoping to get them out within the next 6 months after December 31st. Yes, sir.
We gonna get some 4-axle locomotives anytime too?
Which one specifically?
We did cancel our U18Bs.
They did get canceled.
The U18Bs we just didn't get enough reservations for them, so those did get canceled. We are currently, we were hoping to have paint samples before today, but they're going to be here next week, unfortunately, for our GP16 that we've been waiting for.
For 7 years.
For 7 years. So we do have paint samples on their way over for our GP16.
Again. 5 years ago, we got paint samples for Train Fest, I believe. And then that manufacturer in China closed their doors. So we literally had fully assembled models 5 years ago.
Wow.
And that tells you how long sometimes this process takes. It's been a nightmare. So the Jeep 16 and the Jeep 10, we actually machined and molded in Longmont, Colorado. And I could show you a packing list of the parts I sent to China, and the date on it would freak you guys out of how long ago we sent plastic to China. And just through a whole series of things between COVID and a shutdown factory, and we never received actual models back. I'm excited to see them. It's pretty much everything that I've made, like I own, I buy them. And the Jeep 16 is one of those. I think it's a really nice locomotive, and I got to do all of it from the start to finish. So.
And that one, I guarantee, will be a sellout run. So if there is anybody interested in GP16s, I highly recommend getting your reservation in with Midwest Models as soon as possible, so that you guys can make sure you get it.
Yeah, we actually upped the. So our original reservation numbers on those, we sent plastic over. Well, since the time delay was so big, there's been a big demand. So our reservation numbers have been bumped way up. And the sales ladies tell me that they're all sold. So if you're interested, I would contact Midwest Models tomorrow. Find out.
Yes, sir.
I know I ask this question all the time, so I'm like, ask it again. I'm like, I know you guys when y'all sell your locomotives, y'all have different roll numbers, right?
Yes.
I'm going to ask a real hypothetical question. So, you watch a locomotive go by on your layout and there's nobody inside. That's called a ghost train. Okay, you just one number? Can you put a engineer glued to the side of the window or something? See, I know that question sounds weird, but it's a ghost train. You watch the train go by, there's nobody inside.
That's your job.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
But you don't make it so you can take the body out easy.
Jeremy?
Jeremy?
Yeah. So in reality, there's multiple. You'll see a locomotive without an engineer in it because they have multiple units stuck together. So it's not.
But the
so how do I know
is,
which one you want a person in it?
You guys are the ones making the locomotive. Y'all pick out one. Well, we're gonna sell this one with an engineer, not guaranteed to sell out quick.
Okay, I will absolutely share that with our production department.
I tried that with Frank.
Well, Frank didn't tell our production department.
That's what I said. I tried
So you want an actual engineer.
I will let Chris know as soon as I get home.
You want an engineer
Oh,
in your locomotive.
I'll transfer you to him.
Yeah, just one.
Just one.
Like if you had 6 numbers,
I got
you
you.
take one of the numbers.
4007
Yeah.
has an engineer in it.
Right.
I got you. I will bring it up. Never hurts to ask.
Sell out that engine so quick, it wouldn't even make no sense.
And you can call and ask Chris if I asked him, and I will transfer you to Chris.
The big thing is, will you be the modeler? Like, we'll make a model of you and put it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah? No?
They always take care of me, so I don't. Y'all got the best service anyway. I don't.
We try.
Thank you. Definitely do our best. Yes, sir.
Do you have any Kansas City Southern in Inscale planned or coming out at any time?
I believe we do have N-scale in reservation works right now. I do know that we are currently working on our N-scale locomotives pretty hard in our factories. It's definitely things that we are looking at right now. We do have on our webpage, it's called an advanced reservation page. It's everything that we have planned to come out. You can click on that and just scroll through. The locomotives it's going to be in numerical order. So the locomotives are going to be towards the bottom. So absolutely anything that we are planning at this time is on that page. You are more than welcome at any time if there's something that you'd like to see. Send us in an email to the Intermountain at Intermountain or our Facebook page, just letting us know that this is something you'd like to see, and we will forward that to the production department.
Very cool. Thank you.
Amen. So y'all let Anthony's come out with a 72-foot refrigerator. Read your guys' refrigerators. Cryogenics refrigerators.
Well, that you'd have to talk to Chris in the production department. Chris is definitely the one. So I don't know if you guys we know that we just recently brought on Chris Palmeras. Did I say it right?
I think so, yeah.
There's 2 Chris's that sound a lot alike. I ask him every day how to say his last name. I told him I don't think his mom liked him much. Christopher Palmeras. That's a long name that you have to write every day. So yeah, he just started on with us. So he is taking new ideas and new thoughts. So like I said, at any point, if there's anything that you'd like to see, just send it in to us. We'll forward it to him.
Just a moment of silence.
I guess.
Just a moment of silence.
Is it awkward for you?
No, not for me. I just give me a shirt. I'll take them.
Come on up.
No, that's okay. You won't give me a outer rack. I'm still trying to get one of those outer racks.
You know, I know.
They look so nice, though. They do look nice.
They are a very beautiful car. I think the etched metal that they did on those is phenomenal this time. It's a little bit of error and trial with the etched metal, but they nailed it. It is perfect. It's worth the $90.
It's worth it. They're beautiful.
With no cars in it.
Once you get 5 or 6 of them, it takes up a lot of track.
You don't think you gonna give me 4?
And
Free?
you can put silhouettes in there. No, I'm not going to give you anything free.
I thought you said for free. I thought it was a line you stand in to get free stuff. I didn't.
Unfortunately, no. Nothing in life is free. But you could win a gift certificate from Midwest Models.
It ain't happening.
Oh.
Come with it.
You don't know. You could be the big winner today.
Whoever wins, I'm taking it.
You're going to tackle him?
No, I'm not just gonna take it.
Oh, I'm just going to take it.
We don't do violence.
My husband tells me often, where does a 300-pound gorilla sit?
Anywhere they want.
Absolutely.
Hey, pause. Go.
So we're gonna take a quick break real quick, have a refresher.
All right.
already told the story. I tell everybody.
He already got new trucks.
I look. I make you look bad. Hey, Frank calling me.
You guys said that there's a couple live stream questions.
Yeah, we do. So the first one, do you guys have any idea when the PFE R1720s will ship to the stores?
We are currently shipping those actually right now. Midwest Models has theirs right now. So if you needed to purchase them, just contact Midwest Models and they have them for you.
And then the second one, you guys offer any S-scale products?
We do not.
All right, you guys have any questions? Any questions?
More questions?
I guess we can talk about the smaller exclusive.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exclusive.
All right. So this is the R7020 mechanical refrigerator car that we just put out in Inscale. Midwest Model has an exclusive. It has a yellow door on it. So, of course, I talked to Chris, who made the decision to put this yellow door on this car. And I said, well, Chris, I said, why? Why does it have a yellow door? So he gave me a picture of the actual car on the track with the yellow door. And we talked about it, and he said, so it needed a new door, and it had a broken door. So they just take one from any other car that had a good door on it. He believes this comes from something like a UP, because it's yellow, obviously. So, UP is a pretty good one. And so that's why that particular car has a yellow door on it. Midwest Models is the only place that you can get this N-scale with a metal door. There was only, I believe, 163 of them produced. So finding them after Midwest Models is sold out will be a challenge. So get yours from Midwest Model as soon as you can.
There's 4 road numbers are on the shelves, and I would say they're about half gone as of this morning.
So they are running out. They have them marked at $31.25. Yeah.
You said $21.95.
No, $31.25.
Like you said 19.
He's hard of hearing back there. Can you move him forward?
He needs to come up forward.
Yeah. So definitely, this is definitely one that.
That was used. Now you done twisted it upside down.
Shook it too, and it doesn't make any noise.
That ain't good.
That means that it's very well packaged.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes. I do have a question for you guys as the N-scalers. We changed to these boxes and we got rid of the jewel cases because the jewel cases would break. How do you guys feel about that? As an N-scale.
We're starting asking you questions. Around, huh?
Personally, I like it fine.
You like it?
The jewel cases, like you say, even if they don't come in cracked or something, they have a tendency to get that way or all scratched up anyway. And I tend to throw away the boxes anyway. The jewel cases I kind of felt guilty about throwing away. So I've got an accumulation of them at home.
That you can keep spare parts in. Yeah, so we switched to this because of what you were saying, getting scratched up. We also switched our locomotive boxes. So if you did not get any of the F units that are out as an N-scaler, I found that there was a lot of people that had a hard time getting into them because they are held by magnets. So nobody knew where to open the box. There is a tab that says pull here for fun. Okay. So when you guys get your new Inscale locomotives from Intermountain Railway Company and they're in a box and you don't know what to do, just look for that tab that says pull here for fun.
You expect us to read?
Just a little bit.
We hope. That's the hope anyway.
Just a little bit. But I have a lot of people call me and they said, Stacey, I cannot get into this Inscale
You
box.
do realize that people buy stuff that looks nice in the package.
Yes.
They don't really read it unless they number people, prototypical people. But people, I'm serious. When we buy trains, when I first started buying trains, I would buy trains that I liked first.
Yeah.
Then thinking about being prototypical, you run Santa Fe, so you buy Southern Pacific Boston. That don't make sense really, but you like Santa Fe.
Yeah.
But stuff like that, you package it real nice and it's real steady, and I pick it up and I ain't got to worry about it moving around. People buy that.
Yeah.
I'm about it.
I will tell you that is something that one of my very first train shows, I went with one of the guys from the factory, and he said, Stacey, why is everybody so concerned about the box? And I said, my answer was, because you have to display it, and you can't have it in a box that doesn't look great,
Right.
right? I'm not going to buy a box that got all damaged in shipping and display that. I want something that looks nice.
It's gonna be a glad hand broke off. The couple gonna be bent. Wheels gonna be wheels gonna be.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay, I have a question from TikTok, and I'm sorry if you already covered this. How do you guys decide which trains you're going to make models of, and do you release different things for different parts of the country, or are they all available everywhere?
So how do we decide what we're going to make models of? So the decision actually comes from our production department, from suggestions from our clientele. Also things that just run through the model train world. If we can find prototypical pictures, we have to have that to be able to produce it. So we have to have pretty good photos to decide what we're going to do. If we can't find the pictures, then it's a little harder to do. In anything that runs, so it's like on a tier 4, anything that is on a tier 4 at some point, we plan on putting it out. If it's on more of like a box car, that's a little harder because there's quite a variety out there. That's where most of our suggestions and stuff come from. But locomotives, we try to do from all over the region, right? We do things from Canada. We do things from Mexico. So, and you'd be actually surprised how many cars we sell that are Canadian and how many cars we sell that are Mexican cars. So our Canadian red hopper, I believe we're at like 139.
Red Canada. Yeah.
We've done 139 different SKU numbers on that. Yeah. So it's definitely just whatever we can find prototypical pictures for.
The other part about that is when you build a model, you obviously want to have as many paint schemes as possible or regions across the country. Something's very specific, and you build an entire model for it that's only those people are going to buy it in that area. So obviously anything that's got more broad availability in the real world is something that's you're going to be looking for to make.
Yeah.
Everybody wants us to make something, and the first one costs you $30,000, and then after that you can keep going.
And
Just
I'll
to
be honest.
Just to develop the product, it takes money.
Yeah, it does. The people in the production department, they're modelers, right? So they are going to lean more towards what they like. So, when Gene Busco was in, we saw a lot of things from Penn Central, a lot of Penn.
Northeast.
Right? Now we're seeing a lot of BN, Montana Rail Link. So really, it depends on who's in production. That's something that I have talked with Chris about. And he said he is very interested in making sure he does all regions, not just what he likes.
Yeah, so your suggestions help. I mean, we'll look into anything. It's definitely not it's always worth a question of asking.
Yep.
Why don't you do this?
Is this possible? Some of it, you're going to see things on cars that the car may not be absolutely prototypically correct because our body style doesn't quite match. But
We try.
We try to get as close as possible, right? And we take reservations. So if something's not prototypically correct and people don't like that, we know and we cancel the project because we don't get enough reservations for it. So,
Sorry, can I ask one more question?
Yep.
Thanks for that. Have you guys ever considered doing HO weathered cars similar to some of the companies that do the weathered sets for Inscale?
not yet. Is it something that is maybe been briefly discussed? Yes, but it is not something that we have totally committed to. One of the reasons we try to do things as they would come out of the factory is licensing from some of the places like UP. They are we have rules that we have to follow. So some of those things we have to get permissions on first.
Weathering is interesting. You can always weather something. It's really hard to unweather something. So once it's been weathered, it's pretty much in that state.
Yeah.
That's the other part about it.
Yep.
Exclusive.
I don't really know a whole lot about it.
I don't know anything about that either.
Good night, Kristen. Give me any paperwork. Thanks.
So I have a couple questions from YouTube.
Yes.
One of them is asking, is there any word on N-scale PTC antennas?
I don't know anything about that.
So not at this point. It is definitely something that I can bring forward because the HO PTC antenna has been,
It's done pretty good.
it's been huge. I will tell you, we have not put out our N-scale tier 4 yet. And I'm not sure the situation on that particular project. But it is something we can definitely talk to our production department about. Because the HO does really well.
Yeah, we received a bunch of them. Is it 4 months ago?
Yeah.
They've actually sold pretty well.
We are completely sold out of the UP at this point. So definitely something we can definitely bring out. And then there was another one.
I have a question. Quick. Okay, you say UP license, does that include all their lines that they have bought over the years?
So to be able to do, as a manufacturer, to be able to put out a N-scale model or an HO model of UP, we have to pay for licensing. So they don't just let us produce their stuff. And the reason for that is to make sure that we stay in a guideline that they approve of, because we are putting their stuff out online.
I believe it is past and present. I believe it's how it
Does that
works.
include like MOP and Katy, Southern Pacific, Chicago, Northwestern, that all falls under that?
Yeah, I believe it falls under all the same, I believe.
Well,
You understand what he's talking about? When UP bought an older line,
yeah,
I believe it all falls under their umbrella.
Yeah.
Legally, it does.
yeah.
But do they limit you to what you can do in each one of those individual lines, or do you have to stick with UP itself?
They don't limit us.
No, they don't limit us. So their limitations are graffiti. Making a car look like it did not just come off the line. They take a lot of pride in making sure their cars are as clean as possible.
Which in reality they never are, but it doesn't take very long.
But then the second part of that question, then on private lines, on private rail cars, then who owns the licensing on that? The actual owner of the car, or?
Well, so some of those we don't have to do with the private ones. So we don't have to obtain licensing through everybody that we do models for. There's just certain places, and they will let us know. So sometimes we find out after we put it out, and then we handle that
I
situation.
know the conversation with one of your competitors, they were talking about graffiti, and they had to quit doing the graffiti because they got a letter from a lawyer saying, we want money, and well, have your client give us a 1099 and we'll accommodate that. And they never heard from the lawyer again, but
Yeah.
stopped making the graffiti just because
Yeah.
it is pretty individualized, I guess you could call it that.
Yeah. Some of the places they don't let us was it Mopac?
I can't remember.
No, I can see the container with the eagle on it.
We've gone through this with a lot of them, though.
Yeah, there's some of them we can't do. We had to cease and desist completely, and they won't even let us buy licensing. Yeah.
And a lot of them have to do with I think, I don't want to name specifics, but businesses that are still existing today that are really active, they don't want their stuff put on models. They're just not. That's not what they do, so they don't want us to. They think that we're making money on it that way.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the case, but it's free advertising. That's how I look at it. They don't see it that way.
Yep.
A question you may have answered earlier, maybe somebody didn't, or maybe they answered, you've already answered it, but how do you go about getting detailed plans from a manufacturer of rail cars?
That's something that she talked about earlier. That is one of the struggles of when you're deciding to make a model. A lot of times there aren't blueprints. There's not drawings. You have to go physically take pictures, go through a bunch of archives to get pictures. Obviously you know the dimension of the wheel, so you can start dimensioning things out from there. Start scaling. It's a lot of work.
There's a lot of the places that will let us go. Gene Fusco has been, I think it was the tier 4.
Yeah, you got to go down to tier 4.
And he was on top of the tier 4 taking
Got
measurements
to take
and
pictures and measurements.
pictures and
Is there some company you'll see, I think it's Rapido, Rapido Steel Trains, they have National Steel car, and all their cars they're coming out with are all from National Steel, so I didn't know if they work a deal to say, hey, we're gonna produce your cars.
Not if that's the case. A lot of times, though, they get have access to the blueprints, and so once you have access to that, it does make the model a lot easier to build. It's just a long time you can spend counting weld lines and spacing things out so that everything looks right. It does take a lot of time.
Yeah. And you as building and mold, you do a lot of work with your production department, right?
Yes. Yeah, and obviously, CAD software makes the world easier. I can't imagine how they used to build molds prior to CAD and CAM, which they did do. Those old machinists deserve a lot of credit for some of that. And then there's a weird thing, too. When you scale things down, some of it almost disappears. So you actually have to make it bigger so you can see it. And so there's a fine line there between, you have to make it so you could actually produce it. Ladders and grab irons are when you scale it down, it just doesn't work. So then you get into the old rivet cars. Rivet counting is a crazy world too. So I like more modern cars. Welding is a lot easier to deal with. And all the panels are pre-stamped and then it's welded together, so it's pretty consistent. Because I've seen a lot of older stuff where you're counting rivets on the side of a car, and then you'll get 3 pictures and they'll have 3 different amounts of rivets. It does happen. It's wild to see. So. Yeah, blueprints would be great. If anybody's got blueprints, send them in. It makes it a lot easier to build cars.
This is similar to this person's question from before about how you decide what you're modeling, but how do you decide what you're going to put out in HO scale versus in scale? And if you have something in HO scale already and they want it in scale, is that a possibility in the future that they should send you, or do you do the whole run at one time?
So we do try to do HO and N scale together. So usually when you see an announcement, you will see HO and N scale. This particular one, the 4785s, we did just the HO, but I believe it's because we don't have an N scale.
We don't have the model.
We don't have it quite yet.
Obviously, if the numbers work for reservation, we'll make them in both scales. Always. It always comes down to that reservation number for a lot of things.
N scale's a lot harder to do. The N scale community is, they're not real big on reservations. So getting them to get them produced is a lot harder. And we do see a lot more cancellations through N scale than we do HO. So definitely, if you can make those reservations with your dealer, you should. Let them know that you're interested. Call Midwest Models. Tell them that you want them. That makes them call us and tell us that they want more. And that's how we get things produced. Midwest Models is also doing an exclusive. I believe it's in our HO 4785. I don't know which car as of yet.
That's what's on the yellow sheet of paper.
Yeah.
See, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I don't, so Chris is the only one that really has the inside
You
details
guys
to
know
that.
which one you're doing?
We can probably find out in the next
17 seconds.
Yeah. So that is definitely going to be also an exclusive to Midwest Models that you guys are definitely going to want to look into. We will absolutely do advertising for that for HO.
It's a 4750 Midwest model rail car.
Oh,
It's literally your car.
you're doing literally your car.
That's my understanding.
Interesting. So I'm interested in seeing the artwork on that myself.
First I've heard of it. Wow.
So
I
I'm
write this, but that's how I read the text he sent.
4750 in the Midwest model. So yeah, I have not had the opportunity to see that artwork. I have heard it being talked about in the office, but I have not seen anything on it yet. So definitely that's going to be a surprise for all of us, and we should take a look. And I might have to buy one before it gets here.
It's interesting how
It'll be on pre-order, y'all. So do that.
Yes, because that will be, once it's gone, it's gone.
Yep.
any other questions.
All right. Do we have anything else that we want to discuss today?
Midwest rail car.
Yeah, it's not Midwest Model Rail.
It's a Midwest rail car.
It's a Midwest rail
Correction,
car.
yes.
There we go.
Plain Jane car with a very small logo on probably the B end
Gotcha.
panel.
So we did do the panels on them.
That's on our own phone.
Coming soon.
He's the one that knows.
Okay, so he said what?
Yes, it's a Midwest rail car leasing company.
Okay.
It's going to be a gray car.
Perfect. So yeah, that's definitely something. Do watch for. We will be advertising it. So as you can see, we do a memo each month. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of our Modelers Club? So you go sign up right on our website. It says the Intermountain Modelers Club. You can also sign up today on a sheet of paper that we will be handing out. Basically, what that gets you is once a month you get this memo, which shows everything that we are putting out for reservation. It also shows everything that we are putting out that month for sale. And then when you see special exclusives like Midwest Models, we put that in there as well. So definitely if you're not signed up for the Modelers Club, we should do that because it gives you all the information that you need.
What we're trying to produce and what's coming
Yeah.
and what's been released will all be through there.
In the reservations that you see, if there's something that you like, place that reservation. It's a soft reservation. We don't require anybody to take the car. So say an example, you order a car and life changes and you just can't take it. We will gladly cancel that reservation for you if you need to.
It's soft.
Okay.
So you said something about ES44 B unit? Different?
No, I don't think so.
No, I mean, but it's different.
It is different.
The idea is to sell.
Do you have pictures?
I'll make one.
All right.
I'll make one.
You just take the cab off and I mean, come on now. I mean, this is the same way they did the SD40. Okay, that's the same thing when they did the SD40-2s.
Yes.
And they took the cab off, put a box in on it. But I'm just saying it's something different.
That's something different.
MKT,
Yeah.
green and yellow, ES44, fantasy. I'm sorry.
You have permission to shake them. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yes.
We typically try to stick to stuff that's a little more prototypical that you can actually get pictures of.
I guess. Yeah.
So I also have a question from a guy who hasn't bought any of your products in a while, and he's asking what type of coupler you guys are using.
KD number 5 is mostly
That's
on
our
most
typical.
of our HO cars.
That's our
yeah.
typical couplers, KD number 5.
There are a few cars that don't take that, but for the most part, that's what we put on every one of our models. Yeah.
That doesn't make
Doesn't make sense.
You do it on a couple of
Yeah.
plastic couple, $200 worth of motor. That's ridiculous.
Yes.
Scale
All metal couplers
Metal wheels, metal couplers.
on HO.
I got one question. I'm just curious.
Again, scale too.
Curious, George, back here.
Mhm.
When did you guys start just putting decoders in the engines with no sound? How long y'all been doing that? I mean, it's cool to me. I'm just curious. How long you been
With
doing
no
that?
sound?
So the HO,
Yeah.
so the HO locomotive,
It's sound.
we're talking HO, right?
Yeah.
So every HO locomotive is equipped with a decoder. If it's sound or non-sound, it is equipped with a decoder. So the people who are DC only do have to purchase a bypass from us and take the decoder out. We do a program that if you decide that you don't want the decoder because it's just no good for you, you can send the decoder back and you don't have to pay for the bypass.
I think it's good. Really.
Yeah, they are all equipped. We've been doing that as long as I've been in sales. I started in 2011. They have been equipped that way. So it's been a while. Now the Inscale, we give options in the Inscale currently. You can choose between the DC, DCC, or DCC with sound. The HO, they don't have that choice. They just get DCC or DCC with sound.
Any other questions?
With the Inscale locomotive, you've got the DCC and the DCC with sound. Is the DCC locomotive still milled out where the speaker goes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So any locomotive that you got, if you got the just DC, you could change that to DCC with sound pretty easily.
Yeah, board and speaker. That's pretty much it.
And if
Well, it gets all that when mill that.
yeah,
Very
Yeah.
hard to get a speaker in there.
yeah, and
If it's equipped for the speaker, then the mold doesn't change.
Right.
So once the mold's been modified to accept a speaker, then they're all that way from that day forward. I mean, we had some stuff way back that didn't do that, but everything's been modified now.
yeah. And the new N-Scale, if you guys do N-Scale F units, the new N-Scale F unit drive is fabulous. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I was pretty impressed.
Sounds great.
It sounds great. The speakers are great. They did as minimal metal as they could. You know, they got to have weight, but the design it's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
So if you haven't checked it out, you should definitely see the N-Scale F
It's
unit.
a very good drive. The drive is perfect, in my opinion. It's great. Runs well.
And there'll be some more F units coming out here within the next 3 weeks, I believe. So if you have reservations for N-Scale F units, or if you do not have reservations yet, you should definitely
They'll be
make those
coming.
reservations or get them ordered.
So although we like to hope everything arrives in perfect condition, say somebody gets something and it's been damaged in the mail, what is your guys' policy on how to handle that?
So everything that we have has got a warranty. You can send anything directly back to us and we will replace it for you. You can,
If we can.
if we have it available. If we don't, we've gone as far as somebody can't get something back to their dealer because their dealer just won't take it back. So we've gone as far as we've taken care of that customer. If they get some different product, or if I think once or twice we've just cut them a check. That doesn't happen very often because there's something else that they would like to have. So if we can't replace it with that particular product, we will replace it with something.
We have a really good crew that fixes a lot of stuff. Because we'll get stuff in that's broke that we can't replace. They sold out. And we've literally rebuilt some stuff for people. We have a pretty good crew. That definitely helps the customer service part of it.
Absolutely. So yeah, if there's any problems ever, we will take care of you, and we will take care of our dealers as well. You guys can also, we do have a way of ordering parts. So if you have older things that aren't under warranty any longer, you can go to our website and under customer service and parts requests, you can order parts there. And if they have it available, they will send those to you. They do all parts on an honor system, so you don't pay for it until you get them, and you're positive that's what you need.
And we don't always have all the parts, but we have a pretty good catalog of most of the stuff that we've made in the last 15 years or so.
We do the best we can.
Any more questions? Okay, because I don't want to be the bad guy. I'll make it you guys.
Oh,
Get
you-
you $50 gift cards. So pull somebody.
You don't want to be the bad guy.
Nope. I have to see them again like this week. You guys can go home.
Oh.
Yep. BJ.
Wait a minute, this is a trick.
It is.
I swear.
That's why I went,
I swear.
oh.
Oh, you had it out there stretched out for him to pull it out. I seen that.
He needs to buy an auto rack.
It's only good for auto rack purchases.
And Stephen Rice.
Look at that.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
I never won nothing in my life.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's the best way to win, a $70,000 gift card.
70.
Hey, it's $60 on mine.
Dude.
Something about 4 free racks.
It says you have to buy Inscale.
It's only good for N scale purchases.
I'm gonna buy that card right there. She got in her hand.
Are you? Awesome.
All right. We appreciate you guys for being here. We appreciate you guys
Thank you,
for being
guys.
here. We appreciate all y'all. There's 350 people currently on TikTok watching you.
Nice.
So.
Perfect. Everybody, there is Intermountain lanyards here today, and we also have some coupons for you guys. So before you go too far, make sure you grab an Intermountain lanyard and get a coupon.
Where are they at?
I will hand them to you on our way out. There we go.